Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Talking Joes podcast. That's Josh Stanley. I'm Ethan Herzog. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. And it's been a couple of weeks, couple of tough spots, and a couple of good places that we are now. The Hamilton Joes would drop the first 3 games of the season to the Grand Lake Mariners, and then would come back and win the series, drop one game over in Athens to the Southern Ohio Copperheads. But things looking up here so far coming into this next game.
Yeah, this series against the Copperheads was definitely a must-win for the Joes to keep them in the playoff race. You can't lose the first 2 series in a 40-game season and expect to come back from that. So the Joes rally back to a record of 2-4. But a common trend, at least in the first series to me, facing the Grand Lake Mariners, was that they're always lurking. Besides the first game, they always were threatening late in the game, trying to rally, get back in the game in both spots. And that effort paid off against the Copperheads in game one when they rallied back in the top of the ninth, or excuse me, bottom of the ninth, bottom of the 10th, and eventually won it in the top of the 11th.
And it's going to be a big stretch, especially starting today. I mean, we're almost halfway through the month of June as we take a look at the standings here in the Great Lakes Summer League. Both teams coming into this weekend are sitting in second place in their respective divisions. Flag City is second place in the North Division at 3-3. Hamilton Joes are 2-4 in the Southern Division. Grand Lake Mariners the only perfect team in the league right now, which in the grand scheme of things, we're looking at, the metrics and, if we're going to be like, oh, this is a great resume builder in terms of rankings that arbitrarily don't exist in this league. But I mean, it's not a bad blemish if you're going to say that, oh, we lost 3 to the Mariners to open the season. And they've learned a lot from that. We've seen that so far, especially with some leadership coming in from Brady Bowen, who is one of the top hitters on this Hamilton Joes team and has been a standout so far throughout the first couple of weeks.
Yep. One of my standouts is the starting shortstop for the Hamilton Joes, Ryder Kirkley. He's been really the best overall hitter for this team, hitting just under 400, getting on base 50% of the time, um, leading the team in RBIs and hits, getting on base with a couple of walks. Just overall one of the tone setters for this team.
And something we're going to have to watch out for too, as well, coming into the next couple of games, is the home run threat here. And I mean, in this wood bat league, you don't really expect to hear things about home runs, but there was one just last night as well. Eric Fleetwood would send one deep to left center field, and that would be the first home run of the season for him, first hit of the season for him as well. Not the first home run though. Parker Falkenstein would hit one in Athens in game 2 against Southern Ohio. But is this something that we're going to be seeing a lot of as we head into the stretch, especially this 3-game series against Flag City?
I would hope so. This team has plenty of power. Even just last night, AJ Beggs almost knocked one over down the left field line, hit about halfway up the wall on the fly. I mean, guys like Fleetwood, like Bowen, um, McAlphin, Kirkley, they all have the power. It's just, can they run into one at a correct time?
Let's hope we see a couple of these tonight. And I think on the other side of things, too, not playing as aggressively and not really seeing that power, but also seeing that patience at the plate. A lot of these players are almost in the double digits in terms of the the walks that they've drawn so far this season. And I mean, you look at Alex Coling, he's already got 8 walks on the season. And that plate patience is something that, you start to get those guys on the base paths, and then you start bringing in that power. You bring someone in like Eric Fleetwood, who has that muscle that can send one out past the yard, and then you're bringing in a lot more runs. I mean, we saw it this past weekend how many runs that the Joes would score in all 3 games.
A walk is never a bad result in an at bat, especially with the speed on this team. If you get a walk, you're just one pitch away from being on second or third and being a scoring threat for this team. Um, the on base percentage for the qualified hitters in the first week, um, the top, it appears 7 of them are either at 500 or slightly below 500. So these guys are getting on base, they're causing havoc on the base paths, and they're giving the Joes an opportunity to win.
And now we're going to shift our focus here. We're going to look at Flag City. This is a team, they're 3-3 on the year so far. Second place, like I mentioned before, in the standings in the Northern Division. Coming down for two games this weekend, and they'll head back for that middle game where they play back at their place. But who are you looking out for this weekend in terms of who's on this Flag City roster?
I would look at the catcher, Ty O'Brien, hitting about 440 on the year, getting on base around 45% of the time with a good slug. Um, in 16 at bats. He's walking a couple times. He's hitting doubles. He's knocking guys in. He's just going to be a real focus at the plate this weekend for the Joes.
Now I'm going to have to ask you this: how likely are we to see a home run? How confident are you in this to put a prop bet on something like this? Not that we can do that, but what are the odds? What are the odds that you think?
I would say, pretty good. Flag City is still looking for their first home run as of right now. Joes have hit a home run in back-to-back nights, so let's see if that trend can continue for them.
We'll have to see. First pitch tonight is at 7:05 on Flow College as the Hamilton Joes take on the Flag City Sluggers tonight from Foundation Field. Josh Stanley, Ethan Herzog, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week on the Talkin' Joes podcast.